Helen, was there a mentor you might want to mention?
Yes, it's very interesting. I went into the Army, you know, as a nurse, and then they asked me whether I would attend this 6-month course of anesthesia. And the one who was in charge of the whole department was a Colonel Mitchell. He was a physician, and he really has always been my mentor. He was quiet, didn't ever get excited, and had all the patience in the world to teach even the slowest student that came along. And he wanted to be sure you understood. He didn't want you to do it just because he said to do it. He stayed there to explain to you why you should do certain things. And then fortunately there was another nurse anesthetist there who had been taught there as well. Her name was Gaithel Cooper. Unfortunately, she never became one of us. She didn't ever go on into anesthesia. But she would stay with you and watch everything that you did. And you know, this one-to-one relationship that we have in this teaching is just absolutely golden. It really is. And she would stay there. But one thing I learned not to do, and sometimes that's important too, don't you know how it is? Gaithel would talk constantly. And so she had a lot of pearls, and I learned a lot from her, but sometimes I wanted to be able to think about what I was doing. And so I always tried when I was with a student to teach, but also to give some time for them to absorb what was going on.
Right.
And those two, I have always remembered not only the things they taught me, but the way they taught me. I put that into practice a whole lot. Then, when I came back from Pakistan, I was asked to do, I had done some work in St. Louis on the muscle relaxants. Oh, and if I may say, while I was in Atlanta, Georgia, in the service, that's where I saw my first little yellow box with a little yellowish tan label of D-tubo curare, and I remember seeing curare given. There were 2 sent to different departments to experiment, and we stood there and watched Colonel Mitchell give this muscle relaxant for the first time.
What year was that?
That would have been in about 44 or 45, something like that. And I'll never forget that. I can still see it standing there, and we saved that bottle. It was there when I left. It was still on that shelf because we knew it was an historic event because it made all the difference. And then I started very quickly because I had figured out how to teach this depolarization, repolarization. You remember that was my little baby at that time.
I know it was.
And I was asked to come to Texas. And guess who was up there giving her opinions? And so,
tell them what curare is, where it came from.